Donald Trump's administration is engaged in unprecedented lawlessness, period. In less than 5 months, President Trump has issued almost as many executive orders as President Biden did during 4 years in office. Many are flat out on their face illegal, as any first-year law student could tell you. Trump tried to end 14th Amendment birthright citizenship. He tried to punish law firms' First Amendment rights to associate with his perceived political enemies. His fossil fuel minion at OMB, Russ Vought, withheld millions of dollars that Congress had appropriated under Article 1. More than 20 years ago, originalist icon Scalia wrote about how illegal that is. The madcap pace and roughshod lawlessness of Trump's executive actions mean district judges across the country are striking them down, not because of judicial obstruction, because he is breaking the law.
While far too many of our elected Democratic officials seem totally fine with offering little to no opposition to Donald Trump's administration, Rhode Island Senator Sheldon Whitehouse has remained just as committed as he always has been.
A lot of hypocrisy about nationwide injunctions against the Trump administration after Republican colleagues cheered the nationwide injunctions that courts issued against the Biden administration. Indeed, some colleagues filed lawsuits asking for nationwide injunctions against the Biden administration. But now they're shocked that there are nationwide injunctions. Hearings like this prop up a narrative that bad courts are stopping dear leader Donald Trump because some cabal of Democratic judges is out to get him. Wrong. The reality is much simpler. He's breaking the law and doing it a lot, and judges are doing their job. Trump-appointed judges from across the country have struck down his illegal actions, holding, for instance, that Trump can't punish the AP for its reporting, that his misuse of the Alien Enemies Act is illegal, and that the administration can't withhold billions of appropriated public health funds. Trump judges. Hardly a liberal conspiracy.
The reason why Donald Trump and the Republican Party chose the judiciary branch as the main line of attack to enact their agenda, such as like court packing, judge jurisdiction shopping, like we're seeing now with immigration and deportation cases, or whether it's outsourcing judge selections to the Federalist Society and Heritage Foundation, or even encouraging, billionaires to bribe SCOTUS justices, is because they know if they have the judges on their side, that they will have no type of limit on their power, that they'll be able to do whatever they want because the judges, they're in their back pockets. And so they don't have to, there is no checks and balances for the president. Well, I got the judges. I got my partisan judges, okay? I know what they're going to do, and they're going to rule in my favor so I can do whatever I want. So I think that's a very obvious reason why they're doing all these things. This is such a dangerous thing for all of us because it allows the administration, in addition to the border conservative movement of activist groups, legal societies, et cetera, to build up certain legal precedent over time so they can slowly work towards giving unchecked power to the executive branch. And it's all under the guise of legality, when in actuality, the whole thing was rigged in their favor from the very beginning. Again, this is all about unwielding power for Donald Trump so that he gets to do whatever he wants. And if the judges rule in his favor, and he says, see, the judges say, I did nothing wrong. I didn't violate the Constitution. I didn't, break any laws. Whole time, they have been influenced by Donald Trump. He's helped pick them, through all these different measures.
As it tries to prop up Trump's illegal orders, the MAGA Justice Department is fast destroying its reputation with judges who've said about DOJ arguments, bad faith, shoddy, an admitted lack of any evidence whatsoever, deliberate evasion. Shocking not only to judges, but to the intuitive sense of liberty that Americans far removed from courthouses still hold dear. And the prospect of contempt findings looms. Fact number 2, failing in court, Donald Trump and his allies attack judges and their families. Trump has called judges who ruled against him communists, USA-hating, and monsters. A Republican in Congress put up a wanted poster with judges' faces outside his office. Elon Musk and Laura Loomer have used X to fire up the right wing's flying monkeys about judges, even adding photos of family members in a seemingly coordinated campaign to harass and intimidate. In a 6-week period from March through April, 162 judges received threats to themselves or family members of harassment or violence. 162. A pattern was evident. Many had ruled against Trump and then were targeted. The latest tactic is a campaign to send pizzas to judges or family members' homes using the name of the murdered son of a federal judge. It's not clear yet who is behind that campaign, but it's not hard to figure out the message. Stop ruling against Trump or else. These attacks have gotten so bad that the Chief Justice issued a statement, and the Judicial Conference formed a Judicial Security and Independence Task Force. Now I'd like to see some sign that the threats are being duly investigated.
And I think it's pretty obvious. When you hear things like that, about all these violent threats and intimidation tactics, the reason why it happens is because they want these judges to fall in line with whatever Donald Trump wants to do. And if you rule against them, then you're an enemy of the state. Then, you're a hack and you're a phony as a judge. And that's why, because they don't like anybody, and when I say they, the Trump administration and a lot of Republicans, they do not like judges telling them they are wrong, holding them accountable, saying, no, actually, you cannot do this, sir. It violates the Constitution, or you don't have the right to do that as a president. So it's not rocket science to know why these things happen, but it is very alarming because they are happening, the fact that they are happening in the first place, just for the simple fact that judges are doing their jobs and not bowing down and kissing the ring of Donald Trump.
Is it appropriate to call judges USA-hating monsters who want our country to go to hell?
No.
No?
No, Senator.
In general, no, Senator.
And is it appropriate to call judges lunatics who do not care even a little bit and could very well lead to the destruction of our country?
I don't think so.
No.
No.
And is it appropriate to post pictures of judges' children with the intent to incite harassment and threats?
No.
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 Okay, good. We're off to a level set. I'll take that.
Just pause and think for a second about how absurd it is for a sitting senator to have to waste his time on asking the witnesses to go on the record openly denouncing threats against judges, also he can make as airtight an argument as possible to show MAGA's hypocrisy as clear as possible, so even they can argue against it without seeming detached from reality.
Let's just say that this activity today is designed to whip up more animus against courts, and that it adds to the atmosphere of threats that the court is now experiencing. I think we're up to, 162 threats to judges, which is pretty impressive. And a lot of this has the appearance, at least to me, of looking like it was orchestrated, looking like it was instigated, looking like there are folks behind it. So presumably, the Marshal Service should be not just protecting the judges and their family members, but also investigating the sources of the threats. Can you tell us what some warning signs would be that the Marshal Service has been directed, perhaps by the Attorney General or perhaps by some other senior official in the Department of Justice, to not do proper investigations, and particularly not look into orchestration or any effort to gin up these threats?
Senator, I have no information. It strikes me that a non-response to your queries or queries from other members of Congress to the Marshal Service or to the Department of Justice are concerning. There should be an active dialogue between the branches about something as serious as the security of the third branch. And I guess I would just echo what Senator Booker was saying earlier. I mean, there have been two relatively recent periods when bipartisan legislation was passed to improve judicial security after the tragic murder of Judge Solis's son and also after the attempted attack on Justice Kavanaugh. Judicial security measures on a bipartisan basis goes quickly past Congress. And I would hope that this is a moment in which broad agreement could be reached that it's necessary to do something similar.
The constant fear of violence and attacking the efficacy of an independent judiciary are flat out hallmarks of authoritarian regimes, because the purpose is to undermine the independence of the justice system. The purpose is to silence the dissent from judges who do not agree with those who are in power. Another purpose is to consolidate all the power and then manipulate outcomes with the legal system. So they're not interested in upholding justice. They're interested in supporting and upholding their agenda, right? Whatever they want to be done, that is how they want the courts to rule. And then if they don't, well, yeah, you get intimidation tactics, right? Tactics, threats thrown your way because you did not fall in line with what they wanted. And that is what we're seeing right now. And it's just another sign that this is really bad, okay? And it's a warning sign of what's yet to come, because we're not even 8 months into Donald Trump's presidency. We're not even 8 months into it. For Rebel HQ, I'm Chris Williamson. We'll see you next time.